trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite. Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville.
Is randiscgolf.com. Make sure to get all your discs at spiiciiboidg.com. And that's the dumbest joke I'll make. Big shout outs to Rand. I put an order in myself today. So if you guys think we don't use our own sponsors, you're wrong. And if you're wondering, yes, my fat ass ordered a stool. So it's going to be a great day. I can't wait for it to get here in a week or so. Probably less than that because you know how fast Rand ships.
Oh, yeah. It'll be here tomorrow. Actually, already at your door. I was actually going to ask you about that. So I've never seen someone have one of those portable stools. Do they like attach to your bag? How do you carry it around?
There's a couple ways you can do it. What I do is on the back of my Zuka cart, there's like maybe 1.5 inches of room that you have to wiggle between your bag and the cart. So probably what I'll do is just like slide one of the legs in the stool through that little gap, and it'll just, that's where my disc retriever is right now. But there are lots of folks that just have like a pouch. I don't really know how, it's like a sheath, and they just, when that collapses, they just stick it in that and it hangs off the back of their cart and they just carry it around that way.
It makes a lot more sense for cart users because being a bag user, I can't imagine having another thing to carry around because I've already got my 40-ounce water bottle, my Mojo gear, like the D-clip in the bag. Like my bag is heavy.
Yeah.
And which honestly, I was talking to actually Randy from Rand Disc Golf about the D-clip this week, and he was like, you know, people don't want to add the extra weight to their bag. And I'm like, well,
it's the same as a disc.
One extra disc.
Take out those extra 3 mids you don't throw, and then you'll be down 2 discs worth of weight.
Yeah. And like it just got me thinking, like, I don't really have a problem with weight on my bag. Like, and same with like, I don't really get gassed playing disc golf. At the end of like a 2-round tournament, I'll be like sore, but I don't feel tired like I worked out and stuff. So I've always thought that was a weird comment people make. That like you get tired or like, you know, bag's too heavy, stuff like that.
I've never really heard anybody say like their bag's too heavy per se. It's usually like it's just the twisting motion with my back, picking it up, taking it off, all that kind of stuff is more so like it's not a lot of weight, but when you're doing it repetitively, as with you can fuck up your wrist typing, you know, there's no weight involved with that. But the weight aspect, I guess, makes sense. That's personally, and this is, you know, I love the idea of Mojo. I still would love to try one. But I love a cart, especially in Phoenix, where most of the courses are wide open, they're flat. There's not a lot of like traversing hills and things. If I go to like Buffalo Ridge or Papago, or if I go play Red Mountain, those aren't necessarily cart friendly courses, so I would take my bag off in those instances. But
you got one of the ones that like your bag slips in to the
kind of the easy cart is the one that I have, so there's no seat on top, it's just the wheels on the bottom and a little like shelf space for beer. And it just slides right off. It's like a little frame that you slide the back of it onto, and then you take
nice.
It's pretty easy. But one of the reasons I was trying to get somebody to get me one of those free disc golf bags from Randy is because it would be nice to have one loaded up that I don't have to take on and off. I can just grab this is my cart bag,
your to-go bag,
this is my, you know, desert course bag, that kind of thing.
No, absolutely. I've got one of those. I've got like a travel bag. It's just a small latitude bag that I've got full of like the undesirables that didn't make my
fucking wrong way,
normal bag. But it's really nice. Speaking of carts, I actually wanted to show this off. So I got this thing from Glow Labs or glowthegame.com.
Oh, I saw this on your
And
socials.
yeah, so I posted a picture of it, but I wanted to show it in action. And I think it would work best on a cart because it's not carryable with a bag.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit too big, but I feel like you could make some sort of attachment to like put it on a cart. So all it is you've got your, this is my disc pick, by the way, for the day.
Ponca City Open, huh?
Ponca City Open, the one I almost won, then choked it away. But all you do is you drop it in.
Uh-huh.
And it lights it up. And then, boom, glow disc.
I really wish you'd turn the lights off so I wouldn't have had to see your face. But, that's okay.
Oh, wait, that's not going to work because that's my ring light.
A ring light? Okay, you influencer.
Oh,
I have IKEA $20 desk lamp that sits behind my desk right here. And then stacked on top of 2 weed stash boxes, I have my webcam next to the remote that doesn't work for my floor fan that's all the way over there. So, we're really doing great. That's interesting. So there's a guy, I think he's Arizona based, if memory serves. He's Southwest based, I'm almost positive, but he makes the Halo Red disc golf glow charger. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
Google it real quick. And this is not to take away from Glow Labs because they're doing fantastic work. This is just another alternative.
Oh, is it called Halo Red?
Halo Red disc golf glow charger.
Looking it up now.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
So it actually slides right into your bag next to your discs, and it has a remote. So you can just click it. It'll charge your discs in bag, and then you click it off and you can grab your disc and it's ready to go.
So that's really cool. It looks like a LED strip. Which I guess that's not much different than what that is.
No, it's not an LED strip. It's literally a big ass.
I'm not seeing the right thing here. Oh wait, no, I'm seeing Helix disc golf charge.
Yeah, Halo.
No, the Halo. Oh, that's sick.
Yeah, so that just slides right into your bag, and you can turn it on and off with a little remote, and then it takes about 3 seconds to fully charge a disc.
Nice. If I remember, I'll put a image on the screen right here of what that is. So,
okay, yeah. I mean, speaking of editing, thank you for finally paying up on your USDGC bet, even though it was you just sitting at work bored with nothing to do for about 4 minutes.
Yeah, no. So what I wanted to do and what I did, and it turned out so bad. I might still post it, but I made a hostage video of me like tied to a chair.
Jesus.
And I contracted Terry Miller to do like background voice, like he was the one recording. And it was a lot of fun to do. And then I watched it back, and it's just the worst, like early 2000s YouTube shit you've ever seen. I may still post it. I don't know, but I totally lost you.
You try not to cough into the microphone and you forget. What was he saying? Like, I really want to see this video now.
He said something. It was like, okay, we're done. And, or no, he said, yeah, we're done. Cause I asked the camera, like, are we done now? So I had him say that, and then had him say, okay, go, to like start the video.
Oh, I thought it would have been him like instructing you, like, tell Spiicii you miss him or something.
I thought this was supposed to be a public thing.
What do you mean?
Like, I thought the idea of the bet was that you had to pay off the bet publicly.
He did. He put it in our last podcast. Thanks for not watching the content we create there. RV.
Oh, I was waiting for it to be on Twitter.
No, I spliced it into the YouTube video.
Okay.
No, and then what he's going to do is actually take both of your payoffs to me, make them their own YouTube video, and then post that.
I can do that, yes.
So who won? Who won the bet payoff?
Oh, absolutely, Rudy. Or RV3, sorry.
Yeah, yours was
immediately.
And it's not to dissuade, but yours was like there was a lot more thought and practice and effort put into it, and literally Shanks is just him sitting at work mumbling through why he
totally unscripted. I mean, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, you really just he's like, Spiicii was Paul Macbeth's inspiration to getting into disc golf. And I'm just like, what? The first video I ever watched was his perfect round at Toboggan. I
Toboggan.
think.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. If you didn't see that, go back to the last episode. I'm not going to tell you this timestamp, so just watch from the top to the back.
So now the next time we do something like that, I get to be a lazy piece of shit, and you get to actually do some work.
Hey, I tried to put a real production into it. It just turned out terrible.
I like that they're both fighting over
who lost better. Yes.
Instead of just saying, well, Spiicii will win again, obviously, because he's like 3-0 on these things. So
we do need a new bet, though. Unfortunately, it's the off season. We'll figure something out.
We sure do.
Leave a comment, like, subscribe.
We can make a bet on what we think Ken Climo's first signature disc is going to be with Discraft. What do you think it'll be?
What if nobody's right?
Then no one wins. That's how that works.
I think if nobody gets it right, then we all have to do the punishment, whatever the punishment is.
Ooh.
No, because you're going to make mine some ridiculous shit. And if I don't...
They'd all be the same. I assume we all have the same punishment.
That's not how it was last time. I gave you guys a real easy out. I was like, just make a nice video. One of you is like, hey, you should just suck the Yankees dick for 4 minutes.
I had to talk good about you? That's easy?
Yeah, I'm a good dude. I'm a great dude.
Oh.
So I don't have a disc pick this week because I don't have anything new. But when my discs get here next week from Ran, I will definitely have disc picks. I do have story time though. There's someone that I've been kind of talking to on and on. I previously, and I still do to a certain extent, think she's great. I just think that oh boy, I don't know how to word this without sounding silly. I'll give you an example. This is something that happened that really upset me. And I've gone out to support this person. She does live theater. She's great. She's very happy and positive and very beautiful. I think she's wonderful. And she texted me last week out of nowhere. She was like, how's your day? And I was like, oh, great. My boss is kind of being annoying, but that's work. And she responded with, you're a pretty negative person all the time. She's like, more often than not, you're talking about negative things. And I try to stay positive and remain positive. And I'm kind of addicted to positivity. And if you talk too much negatively to me, it'll just bring me down. So moving forward, like if you like, I don't mind talking to you, but could you like be in a good mood or like be positive before you message me? And I was flabbergasted that one person would have the gall to say that to another person. And she's very sweet and she is very positive all the time. And she's doesn't like hurting people's feelings. So I don't think she really put the thought into like, how is this going to affect this person?
Yeah.
She was just like trying to protect herself, which I fully understand. But I, again, was like, I don't know how to do that. I wasn't born with a positivity mind. I wasn't born, ever optimistic. I'm what I would consider a realist.
Yeah, I mean the bubbly, over the top, happy people are the outlier, right? And then same with the downer, depressed, like negative people. That's also most people are in the middle where you fluctuate up and down based on the day, how you feel, like.
Right, and I don't think that I'm overly negative. I do complain a lot, and I will 100% own that. But I'm not complaining in a like poor me type way. I'm just voicing my mental negative feelings so that they're not stuck inside my brain. Because if they get stuck in there, bad things happen. And I don't want that. So I just
you let it go.
And her and I are pretty good friends. I've helped her through a couple tough conversations she's had to have with people. And I just thought, it's fine. You vent to your friends. That's what friends are for, to be supportive and uplift you when you need it and that kind of thing. And to be told that was mind-numbing. I literally was just sitting in awe in my apartment to be like, don't talk to me unless you're in a good mood, is like the meanest thing I've ever heard someone say, even if she didn't mean it that way. So I mentioned this to another friend of mine who's one of my trivia players, and she's very sweet and supportive of me, very generous. And so she showed up at trivia on yesterday, with a nice white long sleeve sweatshirt that just says joy in big red letters. And I was like, that's the funniest goddamn response. I was like, I love that. Thank you so much. Her name's Regan. Shout out, Regan. Love you to death.
Shout out.
And then a quick shout out to a couple of my other trivia players, Jose and Bailey. They got engaged this Saturday. I don't think they listened to the show, but I love them immensely and gave them a proper shout out at trivia. And I was glad I got to be there. So that's my story time, is being told I'm a bitch ass and then being bought a contradicting sweatshirt.
Oh, that's great. You should wear that Joy sweater next time you go see her. The ray of sunshine that
I'm just gonna keep it on me, and then if she ever walks into the bar, I'll just throw it on real quick.
Toss it on quick.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, I also have a story time. I played the Ponca City Open, which we showed the disc I got from it. Also, shout out to my job, Studeville Ponca City, for allowing me to sponsor the event. We added $750 to the pro player purse. So that was pretty cool. We got the stamp on the disc and on the flyer for the event. But I just wanted to run down the tournament real quick because I had a really, really good showing. My first round at the Woods, I shot. I shot +9, which I went into the round wanting to shoot +10 or better. I started off pretty rough, but then I birdied a couple holes, which I rarely birdie out there. And couple big putts. I was where it really mattered was in the circle. I didn't really miss anything in C1. If I got to C1, I was there, but the problem was I didn't get there in off the tee very often. But +9 for the day on there. That ended up being 914 rated, I want to say, for that course, which was awesome for me. I haven't shot over 900 rated since last year about this time. I played last call in Monticello, Iowa. But then second round, so I finished that round. I figured I was going to be like middle of the pack, and turned out I was third place, solo third. First and second place were tied, and I was 2 strokes back. Went into the second round at the lake course, which they redesigned kind of again. They moved some of the pin locations to the longs from the old design, which changed the new design a little bit. But I was playing very clean, very few bogeys, just parring a lot. I made the 2 strokes up that I was behind just from not bogeying when they did. So I didn't have to birdie to catch up. I just had to par and stay clean. And we got down to the last 2 holes, and I was a stroke up, and a lefty dream hole. It was like 260. Slightly fade to the right, Mando on the left side. It was just a putter hyzer.
I thought you told me to only call you Lefty Dreamhole in private. So yes, it's out there now. Go ahead.
Jeez, I can't believe you'd say that. I put the drive to like 20 feet, missed the putt. We were walking up to the hole, and the guy I was battling for the win was like quiet and locked in, and I was walking up to the hole, the final 2 holes, like, I'm gonna choke this. I just the negative self-talk took over so quick. I thought I would feel pressure, but it wasn't really pressure so much as like, this is just how it goes. I'm going to somehow mess this up. And the hole previously I birdied, and then walking up to this next one, I was like, I just got to nail the drive. Throw it. I nailed it. And I was like, oh, I might actually have this. And then I dinked my 20-footer. We put me and the other guy par. So I'm still 1 stroke ahead going into the final hole. And I don't know. I don't know what came over me, but I decided that I needed to attack the final hole. I was like, I either need to birdie or be close enough that I can have it take an easy par. and I threw my flippiest driver because I had a strong left to right. I threw my flippiest driver just so that I could like turn into the wind, and then worst case scenario, like it pushes me into the ground, whatever. I didn't even flip the flippiest driver in my bag. It went straight OB.
Woof, 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 woof.
Yeah, I know. Straight OB. Guy competing, threw it halfway down the fairway, easy par. I bogeyed from being OB. I needed to make like a 80-footer to par. We go to a playoff, which was hole 1, which is like a island hole, like a water carry to an island. It's more of a peninsula, but there's water behind the basket, left of the basket, short of the basket. The only safe part is like long left, and didn't make the water carry, just barely OB and conceded. But I have never been so heartbroken in my life.
My heart breaks for you to really
I
think you're doing the right thing and then just completely. And I'm not trying to make you feel worse, but like thinking you're doing the right thing and then absolutely butchering it. It's like you did it on a disc golf course. I did it with a marriage. So you've got me beat.
Yeah. It was just so like I had like the negative self-talk walking up to the last couple holes, but somehow I was still performing well. Like I threw the second to last drive so close to the basket, missed the putt, which is like, whatever, that's nerves. I didn't bogey. I didn't miss the Mando. Like that's the important part. And then I could have thrown the worst forehand in the world off that last tee and still made par to win. But I decided I needed to get a little bit further up the fairway than I needed to. Cost me the whole damn tournament. It would have been like a legit win too. As a B tier, we had like, I think the field was like 12 people or something. Like it would have been a legitimate, like hard fought win, coming back 2 strokes off the lead coming into the second round. But it's a learning experience. But man, I was walking to concede, to get my disc out of the water after throwing OB in the playoff, and just the most defeated I've ever felt on a disc golf course.
No, it's only because you haven't played me yet. Imagine losing to somebody who's 80 points lower rated than you, Drew Gibson.
Get fucked.
Not get fucked. Drew's nice to me and very sweet to me all the time, but that's just kind of a running joke. He's nice to me. But I'm sorry that happened to you. I know that sucks. Definitely not the best feeling. So
no, what does feel great is averaging 917 for the day rating. That's awesome. That's the best average rating I've played before, and it bumped my rating up today to 880 again. So I'm back to where I started the year.
Sorry, I muted you instead of muted me. So y'all got that cough. RV3 cut that. Yeah, I've never thrown a 900 rated round, so you're doing worlds beyond me. But I need to play a tournament again soon. Luckily, it's not shitty weather here, so I might be able to get on something.
Arizona probably has them going all year round.
Oh, we do. We for sure do. Let's roll a couple ads, and then we'll be right back to continue things.
Hi, this is Rudy from Disc Lab. Are you looking to launch your own podcast? We specialize in turning your podcast ideas into polished productions like you're listening to right now. Concept development to final edits, our team has the expertise to help you every step of the way. Contact us today to get started. socials@disclab.io. That's socials@disclab.io.
Hey everybody, it's almost Christmas. You didn't get anybody anything. But look, here at Rand Disc Golf, we have e-gift codes. Now, what does that mean for you? That means no awkward sitting there while people are opening stuff and you're hoping they like it. That means you don't even have to talk to anyone. You just get their email address and you buy an e-gift code from Rand Disc Golf. And it comes in their email. And they get to know that you're the only person that truly cared about them in their whole entire life. And you don't even have to know anything about disc golf. They can pick out their discs they can pick out whatever they want. Because at Rand Disc Golf, you can pick your color, you can pick your disc, and you can do it with a gift code that you bought for them. So listen to Hanging Loose and buy your stuff at Rand Disc Golf, and even the e-gift cards for the website. Thanks.
I think we're back. RV3 confirm.
Yes,
God?
we are back.
Enjoy that dead air.
We are back. All of my extracurriculars are put away. Thanks for that sick ad, Randy. Yes, what are you so excited for?
I did a journalism, despite RV3's
Before we get into that real
argument.
quick,
Okay.
I'm still getting used to this stuff, but this is so much more. This is so
Arousing?
much nicer than the stream yard.
StreamYard?
Yeah, and
Agreed.
thank you guys for bearing with the technical difficulties.
Yes, we appreciate it. This will only get better as we go. We're entering year 2 of the Hanging Loose podcast, and we appreciate y'all for sticking around, like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, as our father, Terry Miller, says. So,
Yeah, and everybody subscribe and start sending us money so we can pay RV3 for all the work he does.
yes. RV3, what's your cash tag?
I don't have one.
All right, well, you can send all your money to me, and I won't give it to him. Anyways, I did a journalism.
It's gonna hang out with all my T-shirts. I did get a nice Flabachi set though, so thank you
Hell
very
yeah.
much, Jack, for that amazing gift. I can't
It
wait.
shipped too quick. I wasn't able to intercept it.
Oh, I should probably go check my mail.
Oh,
Not right this second, but you know,
I was gonna say we'll wait, sit here and stare at the camera.
just what everyone wants.
No, but I did a journalism today, so, and that's not the right term for it. I did a little data mining, maybe. So Steve Dodge has a announcement coming on the 12th, which is 2 days from now. So hopefully I'm going to get this clip out beforehand because this is breaking news.
Who's Steve Dodge for the uneducated?
He's an old school disc golf guy. Is he a world champion? Am I wrong?
Should
No,
I
come on, do
save him
journalism.
or?
Do a journalism.
Oh no, I think I'm thinking of Brinster. Hold on.
RV3, can you tell us who Steve Dodge
Hold
is?
on.
Steve Dodge is the granddaddy of the Disc Golf Network and the Disc Golf Pro Tour.
Yeah, oh, that's right.
He
I was
also-
thinking Brinster.
He also owns and operates Maple Hill Disc Golf Course, previous #1 disc golf course in the world. Also is a tournament director and is the tournament director, most legendary tournament director of who makes people pay to work at his event because it's incredible, and I'll do it every time and defend it every time. Yeah, he runs the MVP Open.
Oh, well, I apologize to Steve Dodge and Brinster for confusing you two. I'm doing a journalism.
He did a journalism, guys. And you wonder why he said it that way? I could have told you before we started this podcast, but I really needed this embarrassment to be live.
Oh, I really thought.
It's
oh my
even better
gosh.
that he didn't know who he was talking about. I can't
I know.
wait for the rest of this story now because he didn't even know who he was talking about when he started.
It's not really about him, so it's, but still, egg on my face. Holy shit.
Steve Brinster on your face. Go ahead.
Anyways,
It's funny because Steve Brinster is another person who's popular up here in the Northeast. He lives in Warwick, which is like an hour and a half from here. I've played at the course right by his, he had a little bit of work doing. FDR State Park is a place I go regularly. He helped us on that. So both Steve's very famous here. So it was even funnier for me knowing the difference between the two as well.
I have the honor of having recorded the best putt of Steve Brinster's career, which was a doink off the cage from 5 feet at the Memorial a couple years back. He walked up and he's like, "You saved that for me?" Yeah, I got you, Steve.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, my bad. I apologize to Steve Dodge for confusing you. Anyways, he has an announcement coming up on the 12th, which coincidentally, maybe, lines up with a press conference being released by FutureDiscGolf.com. And I was clued into this thanks to Brody Smith's What Should We Talk About on the Podcast Today tweet he puts out every week. I saw this and I went to futurediscgolf.com and saw it was just a landing page with a countdown, which got me thinking sometimes these are just facades and there's a full website built behind it. So I dug into the data a little bit and found some cool stuff.
Tell us what you found, Steve Dodge.
so I found that sorry, I've got my notes here. I'm pulling them up quick. So there are a couple things. So it seems to be based on a junior camp / tournament structure, based out of I'm going to say Åland. It's like a independent island of Finland. Seems to be based out of there and supported by the government of Åland and Europe in general, and the PDGA and PDGA Europe. They have logins built in for businesses and social connections, so you can log in with like Facebook or Instagram or stuff like that. The tag for the website says the future of disc golf is created to increase opportunities for young people to play and develop in the sport. And the meta description for the site is the future of disc golf bar juniors. It looks like it's a unique junior focused disc golf event and camp, with built-in text or functionality for qualifier tournaments throughout Europe and with the support of PDGA Europe and the Åland government. There was a time tag for an August launch, so I don't know if that meant if this website is late or if it's looking to launch in August 2025. But there's text in there as well that talks about an international collaboration. There's a scheduling tool. Looks like there's payment stuff built in there, so maybe they're submitting like forms to try to host these qualifying events, maybe even bids to host these events. There's payment portals built in. There's even slots for the US. So there's like tags for the states individually, Arizona, Iowa, Oklahoma, the 50 states. That's all I could really find, but it looks to me like their big announcement is going to be maybe a junior tour or something to do with youth disc golf, which I think is a huge win for the PDGA and growing the sport, especially with a global cooperation like that across Europe and the US, with such a focus on camps and tournaments and qualifiers for this organization they're building.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, youth disc golf is incredibly important, especially in growing the sport. We've obviously seen a large recession on the growth that was happening through COVID. So one of the things I do, like I know exactly, if you guys remember Squid, shout out Squid.
Yes.
He sent me a disc to give to a younger player, and a buddy of mine, Dennis, and his son are just starting to really get heavy into disc golf. So I think that's who that's going to go to. And I've essentially taken them under my wing as a disc golf coach. I'm a much better coach than I'm a player. I can teach people how to do things better than I can do things. So that's super exciting for me. And having this outlet where it's like a global program, I think is even more exhilarating, because you see all the time that like people who are just barely entering adulthood, 21, 22, 23, they're first getting that travel experience. And I think if there are like scholarships available or travel credits or things like that available, I think that's going to go a long way into really getting people into the sport globally. I would love to go play in Finland, but can't. So that's pretty cool. I appreciate your journalism, kind of. So one big part of it was a little incorrect.
Shout out to Steve Brinster.
Yeah, right. But our guest, Sick Rhythms here, we're going to call him Ben for the remainder of the show, but we'll go ahead and bring him in and see how he feels about youth disc golf.
What up,
Hello.
Ben?
Hello. Hey, can you hear me okay?
Can hear you
Yes.
great. You're crisp.
Sweet.
I love your Chicano Batman T-shirt.
Yes. Oh, they're so good. They one of my top bands for sure. I love them.
So heck yeah. So for the uninitiated, we ask all the guests this. Just tell us a little about yourself, where you're from, who you are, what you do.
Yeah, my name is Ben. I grew
Ben.
up in Austin, Texas, and I've played. I don't know the first year I played disc golf. I think it was 2008 or 2009 when I was in 8th or 9th grade, and my uncle introduced me and my older brother to it, and like he took my family and I out to like Zilker Park, and he had like maybe like 10 discs, kind of distributed them amongst us, and it really stuck with me and my brother. And yeah, I've been like playing ever since. There was like a small period of time, maybe like 3 or 4 years, where I didn't play at all. Kind of like just went through crazy life stuff. But then I picked it back up in like 2022, picked it up real hard, and it's pretty much all I think about. So one of those kind of stories.
Yep. Welcome to the club.
Yeah.
Relatable.
Yeah, right. Like growing up, I just didn't have like the confidence to be doing like anything competitive. And as I grew up, I just realized something like just hit me. It was like a literal, like I was standing at work. At the time, my job was manufacturing some dietary supplement stuff like kratom and whatnot. And I was standing at this machine, and I was like, I need to be doing something else other than standing around working a machine. And it like literally like hit me like a truck. I was like, disc golf. Why aren't I playing disc golf? And so like I got my shoulder bag out, quickly upgraded to like the Innova, like it was like $25 bag or something.
Oh, was it the lunchbox?
No, well I had a lunchbox first, and then I got like the backpack bag.
Okay.
And then I quickly after that even got the hand-eye mission rig bag, which is what I have now. So yeah, pretty sick. And I also never competed when I was like younger. I only first competed in like a sanctioned tournament, like it was like the very end of 2022, like the very last day, December 31st. And
cool.
Yeah, so that's pretty much where I'm at today. These days my day job's just I drive for a packaging supply company, like peanuts and boxes, bubble wrap, all kinds of different like plastic bags.
Uline.
I was gonna say, is it Uline?
No, but that is a competitor. We're so small. Like Uline is like huge. They're the Walmart of that kind of industry, but we are just an Austin thing. But I do like we're expanding slowly in Texas. Like right now, this year I've been taking a lot of the runs to Houston and to Waco. And
Nice.
there's an occasional time where I have to go out to San Saba and San Antonio. So I'm on the road a good bit.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find time to play courses you wouldn't otherwise while you're out there driving around?
No, and it's funny because in Waco, I pass right by a disc golf course. It's our customers in Hewitt. It's like a small town right south of Waco, and I pass right by this disc golf course. And every time I do it, I'm like, I need to bring like 2 discs, maybe just one.
Sorry, boss, I blew a tire.
Yeah, right, or something. I can take a 30-minute break if I want to, but usually we're just so jam-packed busy that like I just want to get home at the end of the day. So like lunch just pushes that out, and I just want to get it over with. But yeah, I haven't done that during work yet, but I'm fixing to give it a try one of these days.
I have a buddy that's a UPS driver in Phoenix, and he just keeps a bag in and Jesus Christ, mobile ads. He keeps a bag in his truck and will come out on his brakes because he can allot his brakes however he wants. I would imagine it's probably similar for you being a delivery person, but he gets out and plays all the time. Now, I know the heartache that you feel in seeing a course that you're not able to play, because when I went to Utah in June to film the fort, I didn't even get to throw a single shot at that entire course.
No.
And not only that, I didn't have discs with me, so there were 2 courses between the fort and where our Airbnb was that we had to drive past every day that I didn't get to play either.
Holy moly,
that's brutal.
It's a nightmare.
That's nuts. Holy cow. Yeah, I probably really only need 1 or 2 because I definitely don't have time to play the whole course, but just a little taste of something would be great. Yeah. But I also like, it's also one of those, it's a job that like I see a lot of like countryside, and I constantly play this game where I see this like cool slice of trees and I'm like, that would be a sick hole right there. I wonder who owns this land. Maybe I'll put this in my mind, and like someday when I win the lottery, I'm gonna buy something out in the middle of Bastrop or Giddings and like build a course out there. But that's big pipe dream.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's pretty universal with disc golfers is driving past like undeveloped land and be like, that'd make a great disc golf course.
Yeah, right. No, for
Like,
sure.
looking out the window on a road trip, like that'd be a good spot. That'd be a good spot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do that
absolutely.
even in like urban environments, you know, because you see all those kinds of videos. But like when I'm in downtown
Mhm.
Phoenix, you'll see just like a piece of artwork that you're like, oh, what a Mando that would be. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
man.
So,
That
Right,
actually brings up something I should have brought up on the. So a few months ago, a town maybe like an hour east of us got wrecked by a tornado. It's called Bartlesville, and the town really hasn't um, recovered. I mean, minus the people that didn't get hit, but it got hit pretty hard.
right.
But they have a mall there that got pretty like it was dead before, but after the tornado, it's pretty much emptied out. And this winter, they're hosting a par 2 league inside the mall,
hell yeah, dude.
Oh, that's cool.
and I'm really considering like going once or twice just to like see what it's about because that sounds fun as hell.
That would be sick.
Part two would be difficult. I feel like discs are gonna like slide a lot
Oh yeah,
on the tile and that kind of thing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
imagine they're playing it very safe because you don't want to like break windows and stuff like that. But
Don't want to break windows in the dead mall.
yeah, right.
Right.
But still sounds super fun. I might go and like try to film some stuff once it really starts getting inclement because I think it started last week, and I think it's a 6-week league, so I've got a little bit of time to figure it out. But really cool stuff. Shouts out to the league down there for figuring out how to. I wonder if they're using it legally. I might have to cut this.
Right,
It's just
right.
a cop show up like
Okay.
it's a street
Like
race
it's a
gathering.
Yeah, like a sting. SWAT rappelling into the windows.
So Ben, I know we had a couple of notes and stuff you want to talk about. One of them being another round opening a store in Austin and how that's kind of affected your local scene. So I was curious to hear about that.
Well, it's definitely positive. It's super cool that they're in Austin. Like, you know, we're like a tiny headquarters of disc golf. From what I understand, we have Zilker and Bartholomew Park. If you've ever heard of them, if you haven't heard of them, I'm fairly certain they're some of like the oldest disc golf. Obviously, not as old as the ones in California, but some of the oldest ones. Like I think Zilker was like late 80s, like 87 or something like that, and Bartholomew was somewhere around there as well. And so like totally makes sense to have in another round. And they're really cool. I admire Joseph, the guy that's always throwing
the ace machine.
He's nuts.
So does RV3 because one, he gets aces, and two, he looks like if RV3 kept his shit together.
Right. Yeah. Just really let that mustache hang out. It's great. It's great. Yeah, like it's been really cool, and I think it's super positive because like whoever's running that store, I think he runs a podcast as well. But I've met him a couple times. He's a super cool guy, and he's got like a really like good grasp on like how to do like social media stuff and like how to post and whatnot. I'm on a like ambassador street team for the local disc golf store, Disc Nation, that's been around probably for like at least 20 years. I think
Reading that name, do they roll ads on coverage?
No. And
Okay.
that's sometimes like what I'm wondering, like what we could be doing. Cause like they've been around in Austin, like for a long time, ever since I've been a human. I'm only 29. So they opened like, I think 25 years ago or so. And they've moved a couple locations. They opened a location in North Austin. So they have two. So I think they're doing pretty well, but like ever since another round came around, it's made me think like, man, what should we be doing as like an ambassador team to like pump up the numbers for like just like engagement? Like I'm sure they're doing fine on sales and stuff because I see like stock moving. I don't always get to go in myself to go buy stuff because I'm just now like starting to get my my money about me. But like I don't know, it's just something about another round coming in hot like that makes me a little bit nervous about like my hometown local business. I'm pretty hardcore about most local businesses. I've only
Yeah.
worked for local businesses that like started in Austin. So like I've worked for Amy's Ice Creams. I worked for a place called Big Top Candy Shop. The Kratom place was founded in Austin and run out of here. I also worked for a pharmacy like deli. I worked in the deli part of People's Pharmacy. And so like I want to support local stuff as much as I can because Austin is sick and I love being here. But it's like, man, what can we do? But
Yeah.
I'm like kind of in an odd place because I think there's like 8 or 10 of us, and only me and like 2 other people are like posting all that much. And like it was going to be I think it was intended to be a very laid back thing. It wasn't going to be like enforced super well. Like, oh, if you didn't post this month, you're off the team.
Yeah.
Womp womp. But there's only like 3 of us that are like posting and hashtagging and stuff. We have a Facebook group page that's like pretty much dormant.
Yeah.
Like I've posted a couple times, like being like, hey, I'm thinking about getting out in a couple weekends. Does anybody want to come out and like, shoot some clips with me and like we don't have to make it a full vlog or anything, just something.
Yeah.
And I haven't, just kind of crickets about it. The one other guy that like does a lot of Instagram posts, he posts like little videos of like 4 whole challenges with one of his buddies, but he lives like way north Austin, like closer to what we would call Georgetown or Pflugerville, which are like in Austin, but that's a 50-minute trek from where I live. So it's like getting up there after work is tough, and then like our lives are just separate. So it's hard to get in touch with him. And I'm just like, I don't know what I can't decide what to do next. Do I just kind of like hang out in the team and like let this little tiny discount ride, because that's the benefit that we get at the moment? Or do I need to like message the owner and be like, hey, so I think social media is easy peasy. I'm terminally online. Let me handle some of your things. But yeah, so
that's the thing, right? Is these another round, they're obviously very successful and they have a good thing going because they're, correct me if I'm wrong, they're like a bar / disc golf
I think so.
thing.
I think
Or at
that's
least
true
one of the,
for,
I think that's at least the original store.
right. I think that's true for at least the original. I don't know about their other franchise spots.
Gotcha.
I haven't been to the
Okay.
one in town, but I'm pretty sure my friend said he went in and he at least got a beer. I don't know if it's like on tap. It might be a can thing,
Gotcha.
because I'm sure like alcohol
They
laws.
just sell it there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure alcohol laws are like weird in the different states. I don't know what they're like in Texas. So
Gotcha. Yeah. So the thing, they're very successful, right? And I feel like another round is very organized.
Yeah.
In what they do, they have a very, very strong structure of like departments of like marketing, sales, management, like stuff like that. And a lot of local shops, I'm not saying that they don't have that. They're usually running on a very tight ship.
Right.
You've got like the owner, maybe 2 or 3 employees, and then you've got your street team, which is supposed to go out there and be like, hey, you should buy your discs over here with, this guy.
Yeah.
And I think another round, on top of already having like notoriety in the community, that's going to excite the local disc golf scene to start shopping at another round, because they've got the social media game on lock with Joseph, being all over social media. I mean, he's had so many clips that go, viral for what disc golf is.
Yeah, and the guy that runs the Austin location, he has a cool thing where, luckily, his location has like, there's this parking lot where like there's like this median like little square of green grass. Maybe it's about like 40 by 40 feet, and he has a basket across like a little bit of parking lot. It's about 170 feet. And he set up an ace pot. Like he's like, yeah, put $5 in. You get to choose 3 or between 3 out of like 8 discs, and you get your 3, and you get the 3 tries, and that's it. And
I've seen these.
Yeah, if you hit the ace, you get the pot, and if you don't, then it just keeps rolling.
Wasn't it like $800 last time it got hit? I think something like that.
Something like that. I don't.
That's crazy.
Yeah, like, and I think he was the guy Nick, the owner, was like contemplating like putting a hard cap at 1,000 and like putting the like some proceeds to something else or something like that. And then like he just did another post, I think it was yesterday or Sunday, where like there's like all these different hole locations like on various courses, like, oh, at hole 3 on Circle C you get this prize if you film yourself getting an ace there, and then another one at the
love
Met
that.
Center. It's like, wow,
Yeah.
that's so cool. We could have done something like that.
Yeah.
Like anything like that.
You
so it's
still
like,
can. I think
you
it
still
would.
could.
I think it would be cool to have like a whole citywide network of like at
Oh,
the start of the year, we're gonna put bounties on these holes,
right.
and first person to give us video evidence of them hitting this bounty, and it could be do it in conjunction with another round. It doesn't, obviously you want business, at your mom and pop, but
Yeah.
I think it's. There can be some holes that they can only get the reward from you guys, and there'll be some holes
Yeah.
that they can only get the reward from another round. But like, I have been all over this idea of this random ace. Like, you just you gotta. I've loved it, and then there's the
That's
one
so
where it's
cool.
out in the middle of the water, and like,
Oh yeah.
like I love that idea. I think
Yeah.
it's such a unique idea. I never would have thought of it.
Right.
Yeah,
And
I think
I've never like really contemplating like collaborating with them. I had an idea that maybe someday their street team could like we could have like a battle with our street team, but I would
Hell
think
yeah.
I need to reignite our team first
yeah,
to see
I
what
think
their interest would be.
that will come with the community ideas that you have brewing. I think Spiicii touched on something like true, and it's that it doesn't have to be a competition, right? I mean, a rising tide raises all ships. If you
Yeah.
work with another round instead of fighting them, because I mean, to be a realist, I don't think you're going to win the battle against another round. They just have that, unless you guys do something crazy and become another round
Right.
like famous, like they are.
Yeah.
But I think you can work with them, and also like I don't think like don't worry about copycatting them, because
Right.
just log on to YouTube right after this show and look at the thumbnails and the titles and
It's all the same.
content of it's all the same. It's all derivative of itself, and it's because it works.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
don't copy paste what they're doing, but
So like
do what they're doing but do it different.
our two big shops here in Phoenix are Spinners on the Green, which is, if you've ever watched Terry's coverage, everybody knows what Spinners is.
Yeah.
Um,
right.
and there's one out west called Dynamic Disc Phoenix, which is one of Ricky's shops. We just opened a new one out east, but that one hasn't really kind of found its footing yet.
Right.
But every event that Spinners hosts at Vista del Camino, there's a Dynamic Discs Phoenix pop-up.
Right. Okay.
And they fully support each other. And I love that. And I think it's like disc
Huh.
golf is disc golf. Yes, obviously you want your business to be successful, like I said, but not just burying other people.
Yeah,
I
it
think
doesn't
it's like-
have to be.
It's
doesn't
more
have to be at the
indicative
expense.
of our community as a whole, is we're very like, yeah, come hang out,
Right.
be inclusive. So
Yeah.
in my mind, that's just, obviously I don't own any businesses, so I couldn't say from that perspective, but I, as a consumer, would love to see that. I think that would be really cool.
That'd
And
be
success
interesting.
doesn't have to be at the failure of another, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like you can have 4 different pop-ups at a single tournament, and if this one doesn't have what you're looking for, the next one might, and stuff like that.
I'll say this as well. Working with Randy, and from like Disc Lab to Randisk interaction has always been a very positive thing for both shops. And
Right.
I know that I've had people that I've sent to Randy's shop, and I know that there's people that Randy has sent to my shop, just because it's not that competition part exists a little bit for me anyway, because I am doing something a little bit different. I am doing something that's kind of adjacent. It's disc golf shop adjacent, right? With the podcast, with all that kind of stuff. It's so much more beneficial than like that. It makes it worth it.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Absolutely.
And like Austin is like such a huge city as it is, and like, I mean, not every single tournament, but like a lot of tournaments like sell out. Like there's a tournament called the Waterloo Classic this year. I
Mhm.
wanted to get into it so bad, but I was like broke at that very moment, and like I was like, whatever, I'll try next year. I was looking at the registry, and like within like maybe an hour, maybe even like 30 minutes, it was full up with like 10 people on each division's wait list. It was like, we're fine. Like we can
Yeah.
have like competition, and it'll be great. And plus, like their location is right in between the two locations for Disc Nation South and North, so it's like we've got like a pretty nice even spread of
You're
of the city
surrounded.
here. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And we're surrounding them.
No, absolutely. So my advice to Disc Nation's owner, whoever does that, is really focus on local community first, and then get on social media and just start posting clips. I mean, do you think Joseph goes out there and aces those on his first throw?
Yeah, no,
No
no
shot.
way. Yeah,
Like, just needs someone. It doesn't even have to be the owner. Like, it takes a certain kind of person to make content like that.
right.
But find someone like that, put them on the team, and then promote that, and then just keep doing it's consistency, right? But there needs to be an emphasis on that marketing angle of things, and then
Right.
collaborate with another round. See if you guys can throw a tournament together, or the ace pot stuff, or
You
anything
should
like
call the
anything
tournament
like that.
Rising Tides.
I
Ooh,
like that. I
That's
like
such
that.
a good
that's
tournament.
real good.
Yeah, and yeah, it would I would want to
First
put that on a
inaugural
course with
Rising Tides.
water. Yeah, it'd have to have some water somewhere in some way. Um,
Absolutely.
there we've got a couple that would be pretty sweet for it, and like the crazy thing is that like we're not like Disc Nation does awesome things. Like they sponsor little leagues and tournaments and putting stuff every now and then, and they, I think they're just like their family life, as I understand it, is also like ramping up, so that's got to be tough, and it's just like kind of crazy all over to keep
Yeah.
up with the business. Like I can't pretend either to know how running a business works, much less um, a disc store, because that seems like it could be wild and complicated.
Yeah.
So
Oh, 100%.
yeah, I just want to
It's
be helpful.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And the thing I've reiterated on this show constantly is just ask.
Yeah,
Like, it doesn't hurt anyone to ask. Say the no isn't going to hurt nearly as much as you think it will. If you have an idea, run it past him. I mean, he probably is feeling burnt out, at least in some aspects, especially as you said his family life is popping off.
right.
What a weird way to
Actually,
phrase
I
that.
believe the primary owner is a lady, and
Oh,
the
nice.
husband helps out, but I think he's got some of his own things going on.
Hell
But
yeah.
anyway,
We
yeah,
love
they're
a
super cool
woman-owned
people.
business.
Yeah, right, and that's like so crazy, because like I didn't know that for the longest time. I think until I joined the team, I was like, oh, you own most of this thing. That's really cool. That's like her like whole project. So it's just so cool. And yeah, I think I just like I'm trying to figure out the right verbiage to like start that whole conversation, because I think I can play off being like socially adept, but sometimes I have to fight through it because deep down it's actually inept, and I just have to play it up and be a goofball.
We love a
So
fake it till you make it king, though.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah,
That's
got to.
all we're
This
all
whole
doing.
podcast's mantra.
Oh,
Yeah,
absolutely. That's
hell
all we're
yeah.
all doing. Yeah, I mean, and talking to her about it and like being excited might spark, because it's easy to like get into a groove of what you're doing, right? Like if something's working, you don't want to change anything because it's working.
Definitely.
If you spark that excitement again, she might be more interested in doing cool stuff like another round it is. And like I said, don't worry about copying them. Everything is a copy. There's no such thing as an original idea. So,
Right. Right. And there is a part of me that I will definitely have to work on that in particular, because I've done that. Like, I also grew up as a musician, and so I've always wanted to be different. I've always like something in my brain like fights so hard, and it wants so badly to be naturally counterculture, and I want to be unique. And it's like there are billions of people on the planet. Sometimes it's just really hard to be completely unique. It really is. So it's like, especially in disc golf, where like only so much is going to get out there. If there's a formula out there working, like just kind of make it your own, but like there it is. You should grab it. That's so that sounds about right. I appreciate the input on that for sure. And like, if it doesn't pan out, like I'm still, I think we're still doing some pretty nice things as it is. But yeah, I was just like, when they, I think they opened up end of October or something. I played like a space race tournament. I got the range, which is sick. I really love it. And that was really fun. It was run like a good time, but it just got me thinking. I was like, dang, business is nuts. I don't think I would want to run one on my own.
No. And it's all online.
Barely showing up to record this podcast every week is stressful enough for me. So I'll leave running the business to RV3 and Randy. Yeah. We're almost at time. I know, cool. Like I said, we had a few notes for you. So is there anything else that's real pressing you want to get in while we have a few more minutes?
Shoot. I don't know. Nothing super pressing. I might just have to come back on, honestly, because like this is like
problem with all of our guests.
Well, like the off season we're right in that like super tame spot of the off season where there's not a whole lot of rumors to talk about, and there's not.
Where do you think Isaac's going?
That's hard. I don't.
Same.
The thing is like Discmania just seems so obvious because the whole crew is there, but he also seems like he is. There's something about Isaac that he's obviously he like does what he wants to do, and he doesn't let other people bother him. Like the way his form style is, it's very unconventional with the pump forward and then the quick reach back. That blows my mind that he does that so often, and he's so successful with it, because it feels like that would be such an energy leak. It would be spicy to see him on MVP, but I don't think it's MVP. Innova would also be spicy. That one yet. I think some people are just throwing it out there because of like small clues that he might be leaving in some of his reels, but like I don't know.
Yeah, he's been doing the Ganon thing from last year, where he's just dropping every manufacturer in some sort of way.
Right. And like a couple of the posts that we've seen where people are announcing that they're not touring in 2025 are all the exact same verbiage. Yeah. And that seems to somehow be getting ignored. Like I being the person that I am, think it could be one big troll job.
Where it's
just like because why would you all use the exact same verbiage? Like Kevin Kiefer and his wife Stacy were like, this isn't the end of my disc golf career. It's just going to look a little different moving forward. They both used that exact phrasing at the end. They both almost had the same exact statement, other than,
Yeah.
So it's just like, unless you're being super lazy with your social posts and you're just copy pasting, like, don't do that. I think they're
all just chat GPTing.
Yeah. And
oh man.
So it's kind of hard to pinpoint, but it's so funny because I don't like Isaac to Discmania.
Yeah,
I don't either. I think
I kind of feel that
after thinking about it, what we talked about last week about that, he doesn't seem to fit the brand of Discmania, unless Discmania is trying to change what they are. But with their current team, it's a bunch of goofballs.
Right.
Isaac doesn't feel like no, and I don't think Isaac is a goofball. I also don't think Discmania has 2-time world championship money.
Right. Well, not after Ganon, not after like having Ganon on the kind of thing. I know he just won like the most he's ever won this last season after he signed, but I'm sure they're gonna save up to keep him around after 3 years.
Oh yeah,
that kind of thing. You would hope, yeah.
I'm sure Ganon is helping their brand quite a bit, because I was questioning that at the end of the last season, like if he was going to help Discmania, because Discmania feels like they're just a couple rungs above Prodigy and like where they're at in their business model. Where like the new gen of disc golfers are kind of leaving them behind. Now that might just be a regional bias for me, because I don't see a lot of Prodigy or Discmania in my area.
Right.
But
I see a little bit of Discmania. I don't see like nearly any Prodigy in Austin, but I think that's probably because of Mint. Like, Mint is so prevalent here because it's from Austin as well, and it's like I just don't see a whole lot. Like, I see like maybe Discraft and Innova MVP mixing around, but like I don't see a whole lot of Prodigy. Sometimes Discmania. It's like they must be hyper regional, like way northeast or something like I can't.
yeah, they're very like North Midwest is where I see a lot of like in Iowa. There was a lot of Prodigy, not a lot of Prodigy, but the more north you get, like the Minnesota guys, there are a lot of Prodigy and Discraft.
Yeah.
Final predictions. I'm thinking I'm still with Isaac to Innova.
I don't want him to go to Innova, but I think like
he just fits the bill.
Yeah, and it's the second closest thing to that making sense to like Discmania. I think like other than him hanging out with his friends, I think he would go to Innova and blaze his trail there. Did Ezra? I thought I heard on your episode from yesterday that did Ezra confirm Discraft? I don't think saw.
I
any
don't think there's
posts
been
about that.
confirmation yet, but
Okay.
I think that's the likely
rumor.
destinations.
Yeah.
I mean, same with Ken Climo. I don't think he's confirmed signing with Discraft yet, but Disc Golf World has. So
I'm super skeptical about that Ulti World.
The only thing that sells it for me is that poster Discraft put out with the big old gap in the center. Like they were like teasing like who's going to fill the gap. But if you fill that gap with Climo, that makes a ton of sense. I mean, you've got all the champs there. You've got Paige Pierce, you've got Macbeth, and then you add Climo into the mix. I mean, Discraft, the Disc of Champions, like stealing that from Innova,
Yeah, right. I feel that.
It's a power move from Discraft if that's true.
Totally. I just feel like it's going to be hard to like get. I don't know. There's something about it. Like I know like a lot of disc golf nerds, hardcore nerds, will know who King Climo is. Some of the newer players will, but is it going to last? And I've heard some other podcasts and people post and talk about how they just need to make enough to pay off his contract for whatever they've negotiated thus far. Like the 2 years, they just need to pay. They just need to sell enough to pay that off, and then they can figure something else out. But it's like, but what
that number is also up in the air. That number might include disc sales.
That's
like
true,
he might not be making 200,000 salary. It could be 200,000 with assumed disc sales. So we don't know much about the contract other than what Ulti World put out there.
Totally.
I think it makes a lot of sense, and I can't see him going anywhere else unless it's his own thing.
Right.
Like unless he starts his own. But even then, because like I think signing with Discraft will revamp his legacy because Innova kind of let him fall into the shadows. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
And outside of his signature discs and stuff like that, but I think signing with Discraft, and I don't think going back to our bet earlier, I almost bet he's going to get his own mold.
That would have been my guess too.
I don't know if he's going to
already for sale.
I don't know if they're going to slap his name on like a wasp or something. Like
not a wasp, but probably Buzz if it's anything. That's their most iconic disc.
Right. Or what do they have that's closest to a rock? Do they have something that's close to a rock? I don't throw a lot of.
Would be the closest to the rock.
Said Buzz is probably it.
Really? Okay. I always thought a rock was more overstable than a Buzz.
Maybe a Buzz OS.
A wasp is the more overstable Buzz. So, but that just doesn't like. No one's gonna go. You get the Ken Climo wasp.
It doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah,
it doesn't.
Weird. Yeah. And Adam Hammis will be kind of left in the wind if that happens.
But we got to wrap this thing up. Any final notes? We're definitely gonna have to have you back on.
Sure. Yeah. That would be super fun. I had a good time. Nothing super big. I think I can. You can. Find me on Instagram if you like. I do the Instagram thing. I also do the YouTube thing. If you want to do that too.
Heck yeah, plug your stuff.
Yeah, I'm on if you want. Twitter's like a hodgepodge of all kinds of things that I talk about, like video games and D&D and shit. But there's a lot of disc golf. That one is at Sick Rhythm without the K. So SIC Rhythm. And my YouTube and my Instagram are discquisitor. So if you just match disc and inquisitor into the same word, you get discquisitor. I had a whole plan of like I'm gonna make content like testing discs and getting all Bill Nye with it. I haven't made the materials to do it, but it's still plans in the future, and I'm trying to hold on to that name for that. So anyway,
It's
that's
a good
that
portmanteau.
story. Yeah, thank you very much for having me. It was super dope.
Of
Super
course.
fun. Yeah.
That was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah.
Thanks for being on the show. And like every guest, got to send us out with a scream.
Well, so I've been thinking about it because I've been listening to y'all for a while. Would y'all be okay with like a soulful like rock scream, a la like James Brown, you know, something like that, like kind of like a. Ah!
That'll work.
Is that fine? Okay, is that good? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
listening to
Yeah.
Hey.
That was